So hi everyone, and welcome back to I Got U Gurl. And of course, my twin, she's working out again, but she'll be joining us. But we do have a special guest that we will be introducing. But yeah, thank you for coming back, and welcome back. Today is today's episode. We're going to be talking more about hardworking moms for the month of May. So to close out, we have a special guest.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, welcome everybody. How's everybody's week been?
Good.
Good.
It's a rough
It's
week.
summer.
The last day of school for me. I'm so happy.
Yeah, y'all should be shouting on today.
I know, and they're all just kind of like, oh yeah.
Instead, I'm sleeping.
You've been sleeping all day?
Yeah.
All
that's-
day?
I'm getting my rest in.
Ooh, that's a dream come true.
What are some summer plans?
Nevada. In a couple weeks, I'm going to Nevada.
Tell us about that. Where are you going?
So I'm going to go to Reno, Nevada to work for my grandparents to help take care of my granny. And I'll be there till August 3rd. So
That's really
long
good.
time.
That's a really cool thing to do for your summer break. I definitely commend you for that.
Absolutely.
Not everybody would want to necessarily do that for the summer. I'm saying that like,
Yeah, I know.
you know, go to your grandparents and help take care of your grandparents. But it's noble, and you are going to be richly blessed for that. I was one that used to do the same thing. I would go and spend the summer with my grandmother and my grandpa, and we do all kind of stuff, and we'd have good times. So, yeah, very good. And what about you, Miss Elise?
I have a birthday coming up.
Ooh.
2 weeks. I'm going to be 16, me and my sister.
You're the sweet 16.
Yes.
Very
Nice.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
going to be working.
And here
Oh,
she is.
She is.
Yay.
Hello.
joining.
Yes.
So we just welcomed our guests for coming on, and we're talking about, you know, happy summer. We know everybody's done. So what are your plans for the summer?
Not happy.
Not happy.
I gotta work out. So
Okay.
I have practices and stuff.
For AAU?
Yes.
That's good.
And
Yeah,
you had
I mean-
your first track meet with AAU, right?
Yes.
How did
Yeah.
it go?
Oh, I didn't tell you guys.
No, you're
So,
big. You need to bring your
Accomplishment.
your
Oh, you want me
two
to
really
grab?
cool
No.
things.
Oh no. So it was my first meet, and it was really big. It was 1,500 athletes total. So I was there. I got there at like 8. And we left at like 5, 6 almost, so it was pretty long. I did long jump, triple jump, and I did the 400 hurdles for the first time. And I was real nervous for the 400 hurdles because I only got to practice them twice, and it was like really different. And here.
Thank you.
She got her medal.
For the first one, I got first in my age division. So like,
Oh,
how
wow.
if you guys want to
Very nice.
On the first meet.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
So for AUs, it's different age
bringing in
divisions.
medals.
So
Okay.
I think it was from 16U all the way up to masters, which is like the grown people. So I won the age division for
Very
the
cool.
for the 15, 16 girls and the 400, and then I got third in triple jump.
Very
Wow.
nice.
So good.
For third and
Wow.
16
Girl.
jumps. Very
Yeah.
good. Congratulations.
It was-
Congrats.
400 hurdles.
For what?
First place.
First place
place
for the
was for 400
400, and I
hurdles?
got
Okay.
third for triple jump, and I PR'd, so it was fun.
And what's
That's
PR?
good.
So
What
we
is
all
PR?
My
know.
personal record.
All right.
So
Nice.
my personal record for the season so far. So
Great job.
Excellent
it
job.
was really hot. It was a fun experience though, because it was a whole bunch of people, and it's more of a competitive like environment. So it was
So you really
fun.
got a chance to feel like you were competing against
Right.
like
Yeah. Let me
athletes.
tell you, them little kids are fast. Like them 6 and 7-year-olds are
Right.
like running my times. Like y'all are fast.
Well,
Oh,
see,
wow.
how great is that to know that you competed in an elite conference and
Yeah.
you got medals. You know, you won.
That
I
really
was
should've
not
boosted
expecting
your-
to walk
That's
out there
awesome.
with medals
Especially
on.
since how we ended the school season.
Yeah.
And not in a negative way, but you
No.
know, you see how God always sort of.
I was
brings you out of-
expecting to go there just to have fun. I was not coming out there with 2 medals on and stuff.
That's right.
So
See?
it was fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very
Congrats,
good.
I know.
Well, congrats. That's a good
Congrats.
start for the summer.
Yes.
Awesome.
And there's another shout out we want to give to Sakari. We forgot last week. She made the National Technology.
How you gonna
Techno Honor Society.
Technical.
So
Yeah,
share
honor society.
title and what is
We're all
that?
just doing big things.
So the National Techno Honor Society is a technological environment. right?
Technological
Environment. And so any jobs that I want to get into, any colleges that I want to get into, they're going to send a personal recommendation to say that, like, I'm qualified as a high school student to be able to get those jobs.
And this is based off of your grades, right?
My grades and my leadership in school.
Is this what you're doing in California? Is this where the California thing is at?
No, that's a different thing. So I have another program that's going to be during the summer, and it's a Loma Linda medical school program. So I'm going to be there for 3 weeks, and I'm going to get the feel of what college is and having professors. So
very good. On a medical campus too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that presentation that was done last week on the church PowerPoint from Loma Linda was so impressive. I had at least look on, and he just had a lot of great information, and just I was like, I would definitely go to
Loma Linda. Yeah. So shout out to Loma Linda.
Awesome. Well, shout out, congratulations, Sakari, for hard work efforts.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. We are now officially into summer. So, Sakari, you are officially a
senior.
Good job.
Very good.
Y'all are
And
now
you guys are officially
upperclassmen.
Yes,
upperclassmen. Get some respect now, huh?
Get some respect on
We'll
it.
be on college campus. I better get some respect.
Oh, I know that. Right, because you're doing
dual enrollment. See?
Another great accomplishment.
Wait, so we're going to be on campus?
Awesome.
Yeah,
she will
on
have
the
to go
college
on campus. Yeah,
Right.
there's no more remote, so she'll have to go actually on.
So
I
these
am
girls are doing big things.
ready to get out of high school. I want to go to college
Girl,
so
you
bad.
only 4 hours into the senior year, and you already
Senioritis.
4 hours. Bro, better slow that down. You got a long way to go. And let me tell you, it's gonna go by fast, but it is going to slow down at the last few weeks of school.
That was definitely this year.
Yeah.
But when we got into when we were freshmen and people were like, it's gonna go by so quick. Don't take anything for granted. I'm like, it's 4 years, please.
Right. I didn't think any of it.
Literally, I blinked and I'm a junior.
It's
I swear, last year, I swear I was a
we were
freshman.
getting ready for our
homecoming. Homecoming, freshman homecoming. And now I'm a junior. It's just crazy.
It's crazy.
Isn't
It's
it?
really crazy.
Crying
Is
now
that what
already.
is college going to go by that fast too?
It does.
Does it?
It does.
Yes.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
And especially if you're at a college where you're really having a good time, and you're busy and you're staying involved in stuff, you look up and next thing you know, you're done.
I'm walking.
I mean, look at picking your major.
Look at Jasmine.
Yeah,
Jasmine's
Jasmine
graduating next year.
That's
Awesome.
crazy.
It is
crazy.
Who's Jasmine?
Her and
My
Ketchup.
cousin.
Cousin.
She goes to Spelman.
Ooh,
Go Spellman.
Spelman is one of my options.
Okay.
Awesome.
I put her on.
Very
Yes,
good.
she did. Nia put me on.
And you would do well at Spellman.
She would.
Yeah,
She
you would
would.
do real good at
Yeah.
Spellman. Wonderful. Well, lots of good things going on in the
Great
summer.
things.
Lots of great, wonderful things.
A lot
Yes.
of do bigs.
Yes,
Yes.
a lot of do bigs that we'll be able to share, and we'll keep you all posted as well.
Posted.
As the summer comes around, we'll be doing lots of cool things on I Got You Girl too. So stay tuned
Stay
because we
tuned.
will keep you entertained
Yes.
throughout the summer.
June is a blockbuster month, so we
Yes,
can't wait.
absolutely.
Speaking of.
Good plug.
Okay, so are we ready to do our little competitive game today? And our guest, we haven't introduced her. Are we ready for it yet?
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and introduce who she is and who's joined us today,
Okay.
and then we can get her involved to play too.
Yes. Okay, so
Why don't you introduce
Yes,
her?
I didn't know if you were done talking about, but yes, okay. So I am so excited because I have a special guest on today, none other than my lovely and beautiful cousin, Tamica Robinson. Tamika, yes, one of the wonderful things about Tamika is that she actually grew up with my best friend Anita. So there were times where the three of us would get together and we would just run the streets of Reno, or at least we thought we were,
Okay.
playing dolls and playing Barbies and
Yes.
just, always hanging out. Tamika lived in a different state, so when she came to town,
Loved when
it
she
was nothing
in
but a
town.
big, powwow for
Man.
us. So
Fun
Tamika
times.
has been kind enough to join us today. She's got some
Yes.
really cool things to talk about. She has a very, very cool career. I'll say. I
Yes.
don't want to say job. It's a career at this point for her.
Yes.
And she has been in that field for a long time. So I'm really excited to hear what she's got to share a little bit later. But welcome, Tamika.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
I'm excited to be here. Like, this is huge. Huge. I feel like I'm a celebrity or something.
You are, girl. You're looking like one
You
too.
sure are. Because She's not tooting her horn, but you have a successful YouTube. We can't wait to dig in.
Oh yeah.
But listen, I got an icebreaker for all of us, right?
Oh, where are the icebreakers? Oh, this
okay.
is to catch them
So
up on
this
icebreakers.
is yes. This is called What You Know About That. What y'all know about that? So we have our Gen Xers versus our Gen Z. Y'all some Gen Z.
Okay.
Okay. So y'all ready?
We are ready.
Yeah. No, we're not.
No, they are millennials.
No, child.
No, ma'am. Don't never put me in
I
that.
wish I was.
I'm a little slightly offended.
We're Gen Z. No, we're Gen Xers.
We're Generation
We're
X.
X.
Yeah. We're Z, correct?
Or
We're Z.
are we Generation Z?
No, they're
No,
Zs.
that's
They're
Okay.
Zs. We're X.
Okay, got
Because
it.
X stopped, I think, in 1979.
Got it.
But we're
Okay,
not
so
we're
we're
not
Putting out
millennials.
that out there. Edit that.
Look at
Team,
she said,
huh?
I said we're not millennials.
No, come on over here to the.
Yeah,
come on.
stop. We Xers. We're X.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so what y'all know about that? So
Okay.
if you guys know it, the first one to say I know about it or I know about that is the one who can answer correct.
Okay.
Answer the question. So
Okay.
you guys ready?
Okay.
This is good.
If some and also audience, if you guys know it, put it in the chat.
Yes,
Right?
please
Put it
help
in the
us
chat.
out for all of us young. For all of us.
Okay, so if someone ghosts you, what did they do?
I know about it.
Nah,
Okay, so this is a Gen Z thing. Y'all know about that.
What did they do?
So like if you're texting a girl or a boy and y'all are like texting or whatever and they know and like y'all are texting one day and they don't text you back and you never hear from them again, they're ghosting you. They ghosted you.
Okay.
They either
Yeah.
like
They don't wanna talk to
they
you
either
anymore.
ignored or you pissed them off. So
Yeah.
What's that?
I said that's rude.
It's very rude.
Yes.
Coming from someone with experience.
Don't put it out there,
It
girl.
is very rude. Yes, but they're just cowards. So
I never got ghosted. I do the ghosting.
she ghosts people. I'm like, yeah.
Stop.
Okay.
Very
Alright.
good.
Okay, so next question. If I have a 12-inch or a 45, what do I have?
I know about that.
Oh,
12 inch or 45. That's all about the hair.
That's what I
So
thought.
that's hair length.
That's
So
what
But wait, that's a good one, but it's not that. That's
Oh.
what I'm thinking.
If I was
That's a good one though, because that is
12 inch or 45.
Yeah.
45.
it's
you
black.
got a gun.
Oh, it's a gun.
Circle.
I know about that.
If it's not playing right, you put a penny on.
I
it.
know about that.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a record.
That's right. That's a
I have to go back. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So
But
one
anyway,
for X, one for Z. Okay. If your mama says let's get in the car and go to the Blockbuster, where did you go?
I know about that.
Okay.
What you know about that?
Okay.
First.
I do. You want to let her try?
I'm gonna let her
I'm gonna
go.
let you try.
Go
and
ahead.
answer it.
Wait, say it again.
Okay. Let's get in the car and go to Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
Where are you going?
I think I know about that.
You're going to the store to get those little red movies, right? The little movies at the
Red
It's
box.
like red
box,
box,
right?
but they had like
Lowe's.
Close.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, let your mother school you.
Oh boy.
So back in the day, there were two main places that you could go to get movies if you didn't go to the movie theater. One was Blockbuster, and the other one was Hollywood Video. Hollywood Video was like low budget, like busted movies. Blockbuster had all the later, greater movies,
Yes.
right, Tamika? Would you say
Yeah.
Blockbuster had the better?
Yeah.
Yes, and you could actually go to jail if you didn't return them back. I just want you to know that.
What kind of
The
videos? What were
piracy?
they?
Yeah, no, it's piracy.
Piracy, exactly.
Tamika, tell us what kind of videos were they? What were
What were
they?
they
What
called?
kind of
Oh,
player
they're
did you put on?
VHS. All they
That's
ever
right.
VHS.
That's old.
That's
And then when they came out with DVDs, it was
Like
big.
little them big
Yes.
tapes. Yeah. See, I
Okay.
just go to Netflix.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
we didn't have
ahead.
all that.
Uh-uh.
Because we can push rewind.
Okay.
Oh, I just have to double tap.
y'all have to press long enough.
Don't let it go too fast. Don't let it go too fast. You be
Don't lose the remote. Don't lose the remote.
Don't lose the remote. Don't lose. Yeah, we were the remotes, right? Back in the day. Okay, so y'all tell me, Movado and Swatch. What are types?
I know that.
Of what? Okay. Go ahead. That's
Watch.
right, girl.
I
That's
knew it.
right.
Really?
Okay, there
Yes.
we go.
Okay.
Okay. Back in the day, every black or southern household had something in a can on the stove. What was it? What was the can and what was in the can? Huh?
I know about that. Go ahead, Tamika. What?
It was
I knew it.
baking
All
grease.
the oils.
And what was the can it was in?
Coffee Coffee can.
Okay. Coffee or Crisco? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tamika.
Okay.
He keeps a pot, like a
Hey,
pan.
I must be like, what are we talking about?
Okay. James, Velma, and Penny. They were stars in a big TV show.
I know that.
Okay.
Scooby Doo.
No, not
Boy James. It was just Velma.
And Penny.
I have no idea. I don't know. It was.
You guys sure nowadays is Janet Jackson.
No, there was no James.
That's right.
You
There
already
was-
know.
Tamika said it. What was the name of the show? Y'all know the name of the show?
She is now known as Janet Jackson.
Production. Huh?
Janet Jackson.
Production team is saying.
I know about
Go
it. I know
ahead.
it, but I just had to get it together. Let me
Good
go ahead and
time.
Good
Good
time.
time. Yes.
I don't know.
Sis, I think we've messed
Yeah,
up.
Dynamite. Come on.
That's cool. I haven't watched that
Mercy.
one yet.
We failed our kids.
Okay, last two.
That
Lionel, Mr. Bentley, and Florence were stars on what TV
Lord.
show?
I've heard of that.
Lionel,
name.
Mr. Bentley, and Florence.
Huh?
Y'all don't know about that?
Is this Zin's? What?
I think I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say.
Go
it.
ahead.
No.
Say it.
Okay.
Is it Sanford and that show?
Close.
Wrong, allow the
Close.
same lines,
Well,
but
moving on up.
Good Days?
no, the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons.
Yeah, you guys probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't know that.
don't know.
And you may not know this one. TDK, Maxell, or Memorex. What is it?
Yeah, you
TK,
know
what?
way on
TK,
out.
what?
Yes. TDK, Maxell, or Memorex. Our production
I
team
know what
got
that
it.
is, but
Our
I know what that is.
Back in the day, we would put a piece of tape around it on the corners just to make it play.
Oh my gosh, you're talking, what is it? Cassette tapes?
Yes, cassette tapes.
Girl.
I need to get more modern stuff, huh? Well,
Maybe.
anyways. Okay,
I
so
want to say
our-
like Zac Efron and
Nia says she's old school to a point. I think she stopped at 90s music. It didn't go past that. Maybe a couple of 90s new movies.
I knew Fresh Prince in a Different World. That's it.
I should have said those.
And Cosby
yeah.
Show.
I
I
should
a
have
lot of
said
old
that.
school stuff. I just don't know like.
Okay.
Saved by
I
the Bell
was gonna
was
say-
Oh,
good.
Saved by the Bell.
That
That was my show. Oh, that was my
Okay,
show.
well, here's another one that you probably would know, maybe.
Okay.
Did you guys watch That's So Raven?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of
Okay.
course.
Yes.
Who hasn't watched that So Raven? It's like the best
The
Disney show
generation-
and Proud
Annalise
Family.
is in it.
You need
Think
to
about
watch
Oh
that.
yeah, she has the
High
new
school,
one.
high school.
Raven's Home.
What?
No, that's not.
High school, what is it? Zac
Those were
Efron?
really-
High school high? No.
High School Musical.
Musical. There you go.
Don't even go there because this is the third episode that we have touched on the fact that your girl over here has never watched not one.
Have a tough
Not
time
one
with
episode.
singing the whole way through. I just need to.
I knew the songs. I was dancing.
No, really. Like I was in the movie.
You were
I was on the set in the movie
I
dancing
gotta
with
see
them.
about this.
I
gotta
played the
see
song
about
Summer.
this. All right, but anyways, okay, so we are about to get into
Yes,
into
that
this.
was fun.
Oh,
I like
good.
that.
I
Okay.
enjoyed that.
I
So
have
we'll
to
have
get
to
more
roll
Gen-
that in again.
I like
Your
that.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right. Well, thank you, Anita, for that. That was really fun. And that just brings us to the point of where we are going to let our good cousin talk today about what she does and share with us. This is a part of highlighting, again, to Lisa's point earlier, moms, and we've been highlighting moms throughout the month of May. We wanted to finish off our month, with, a really good bang, and this is a really popular topic, just talking with Tamika and her response and what she's been doing. So share that with us, but I'll let you take over. So welcome to I Got You Girl, Tamika. So what you been up to?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, nothing, working, trying to stay safe. And juggling kids and wife and family life, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us about
Tell
it.
us
So what
about
are you
it.
doing? Tell us about what you do.
What do I do? I am a sonographer, and I have been a sonographer for the past almost 20 years.
Wow.
So for our girls up at the table that may not be totally clear on what that is, can you share?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am someone, when you get pregnant and you come see and you want to see your baby, you want to know the gender. I kind of have it playing here in the background. But I don't just look at babies. I also look at your arteries in your body. I look at your liver, your gallbladder, your spleen, kidneys, if you have a kidney stone, things like that. So what else do? I do rule out DVTs, blood clots on the legs, and I travel doing it as well. So I go to different hospitals and different clinics when they need help. I go like through the Bay Area. I live in Northern California, and I know, right? Yay! But I go to the Bay Area mostly, and I travel about 2 hours from my home base, and I go and do these services for hospitals and clinics.
So tell me, I actually had an opportunity to be there when you first started ultrasound. And man, that was a good time, because I remember when you had moved out and finally moved away from home, and you were living in this really posh area of LA. What was it, Burbank? And you were going to school, and I stayed up with you one night and you were studying for finals. Do you remember that? And we were praying.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so tell us about that. So how did you even get involved with doing sonography?
Yeah, like how did you get started?
What made you want to do that out of all the things?
So this is funny, but I didn't know anything about ultrasound. I was clueless. And I went to school for medical assisting, and I moved to San Diego, and my girlfriend at the time, Shannon Ross, she was a medical assistant. We graduated together, but her husband was in Coast Guard. So he was gone for like 3 months at a time. So I stayed with her for 3 months. And in that time, she was like, I want to go back to school. I'm like, well, girl, we just graduated medical assistant school. And so she was like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to stay making $8 an hour. I'm like, yeah, that's very true. Now you guys have to remember, this is 20 years ago, so don't judge the dollar figure, okay? So, and on top of that, she was like, well, I want to be an ultrasound tech. And I'm like, well, what's an ultrasound tech? And so when she broke it down to me, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's furthering my career in medicine. And I said, yeah, let's go. So right when we were about to go to school, she got pregnant. And she was like, well, I'm not going to go no more. But I'm like, well, dang, we signed up for school now, so I have to go. So I ended up going, and I ended up moving to LA, and I found a school there, and I ended up going there, and the school was only 18 months, and it was the best decision that she brought to my mind ever, because it has paved the way for me financially, stability, and just education, and the knowledge that I know for medicine is so huge. So I owe my career to her, and I tease her about that all the time. But it has opened up many, 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 many doors for me, and I've always will be grateful for her. But yeah, that's what I did. I lived in Burbank, California. Amber was right. It was a little cushy. It was a little posh. Toluca Lake, and I miss it dearly. I tried to twist my husband's arm to move back there, but he's like, no. But it was at that time, it was a struggle for me. I'm not a school person, so I am definitely that mentality of, can I just stick it in the microwave and it'll be done? I don't like to draw out things. If I want to be a doctor, why do I have to go to doctor school for 10 years? And I could go over here and be a doctor in 2 years. Like, I just want the short end of wherever I could get to. A to B very quickly. So it was only 18 months, and Amber is talking about a time when my mom threatened my life, and said,
bring it up,
girl, and was like, Amber's gonna go back with you and make sure you're studying for this exam, because it was literally my final exam, it was my exit exam, and if I didn't pass, I would not be an ultrasound tech. So Amber bought pizza and we sat at that house.
Yes, I was pregnant with Zora and Zaire at the time. Yeah,
Oh,
and we
wow.
sat up and we prayed and we cried and we
She
stuck.
was off to me, and she was reading flashcards and making me understand all the concepts and everything. And I tell you, if it wasn't for her doing that, I would not have probably passed my final.
Yeah, we celebrated when she passed. We celebrated.
Girl, I called. I was like, I passed.
I was screaming. I couldn't come.
It was crazy because this is the behind story of that, and that's why I was so excited, because I took my final already, and I got a 47%. However, I went to Vegas and was celebrating and was like, woo, I'm done. Well, my mom called me and was like, the school called and said, you failed. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I flew back into Sacramento. Amber drove with me back to LA, and I had to study. Yeah. I couldn't let that go down in history that I didn't finish. So no, I passed, I think with a B. And I was so happy.
You got an A.
So, girl, I don't know. I put that so far behind me. It's so far. All I know is I passed. That's it. I was like, yes. And so I did that. And here I am 20 years later, right? I got a job right out of school, and I moved back to California. And my cousins, Amber and Garnett, joke with me. But it was an opportunity that came up, and they lived in Philadelphia and they wanted me to move out there, but I didn't. And my dad was like, I'll buy you a new car, or I'll buy you a TV and you can just stay here. So unfortunately, I ended up staying here. I never got the new car or the TV, but I ended up staying here.
Hey.
So,
but
Get you out there. That's all.
yeah, right?
That's okay.
No,
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's been an amazing career. The money, right out of school, I made $21 an hour. And
that was huge.
That is huge.
I was like, what? I could buy me like a Louis Vuitton purse, and I should not have even been having that mindset. However, I ended up getting my own place, my own car. I had my own thing, like I was independent. How did that sound?
Yeah. So what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna ask because you know we have young teenagers here who are getting ready to go into college sooner or later at one point in time in the near future. And those who are watching, you said it took 18 months for you to complete this particular program. What's the average salary for those who are just trying to discover what they want to do?
Excellent question.
So right now, if you were to go into ultrasound, you're making between $60,000 to $80,000, and that's just start off.
Mm-hmm. That's right out of school, post test.
Right. Right now, I'm in the six figures, so it's not the career. Like, what is it? But that's independent work as well. But Kaiser, I can tell you right now, Kaiser, Northern California. This is only for Northern California. Kaiser, you make about $120-something an hour being an ultrasound tech. And so the money is amazing. It's to be made. I mean, you could have so many things, financially stability. And I preach that on my channel, financial stable. Like if my husband didn't want to work, he doesn't have to. But, and I say that because I live in California, so prices are extremely high. But it is definitely a career, like post high school. I have high schoolers now that's in my mentor program that are like, help me get to this career. What's the path I have to take? And some places you have to, in order for you to go to their school, you have to have a BA. But you have to have a BA, but that could be in anything. And so with that being said, like you could just go like, I didn't have a BA. All I had was medical assistant background, and I went in, and I, to this day.
So there's opportunity there. You can go different avenues. So you could do the 4-year, or you can find different programs that would offer a 2-year program. Really, what it sounds like is that final, that state test is really what you got to get to. So if you can get the material, learn it, and be able to pass the test that you had to pass, that's really what you got to get to. So yeah, that's really good.
ARDMS, the national boards. So, like, I don't preach, you don't have to go to an accredited school. They just want to make sure that you're registered. If you're registered, then you're like a seal stamp, a stamp of approval. You got that seal. So, with that being said, like, you don't have to, there's different avenues. You could go to a 2-year program, 4-year program. There's still 18-month programs. You just have to do your due diligence and shop around. And see what's in your area.
Excellent. Elise has a question.
When you mentioned that you have to be registered, do you have to get that renewed every so often?
Your renewal?
No. So you have to do CMEs, which are continued medical education credits. And so that's every 3 years. And you have to get 25 credits within 3 years.
And that's basically what keeps your...
Once you pass, it's yours.
Okay. Yeah. What you don't want to do, though, is let your license expire by not doing those classes, right?
Yeah, and then you have to sit for the boards again.
Yes. Okay.
And each test is like $250 each test.
So, okay, so let's walk through this. So you went to school, you've got this wonderful career, and you start making all this great money, and then you learn that you could actually travel and do this. So what was that like?
Yeah, good question.
And did you do that post-marriage, pre-marriage, after marriage? When did you start doing
that? Was pre-marriage. That was pre-marriage, and that was my goal. So right out of school, I started hearing, oh, you could travel doing this. You could travel, and they'll set you up in an apartment. They'll get you a car. They pay for your food every day, and you, on top of that, you're making $1,500 a week. I'm like, what? So they pay for everything, and I still get $1,500. So that was my goal. I was like, let me work. So I worked 2 years, and then I started traveling, and I've been traveling ever since. And I have not looked back, because the pay differential is so huge that I don't think I will ever want to work for a hospital or a company.
Okay, so now with traveling, you're doing just interstate, or are you going outside of the state, or you're just within?
You can do whatever you choose. So I could go to Hawaii and do a 13-week assignment there. I could go to Guam and do an assignment there. I could go to Costa Rica. I could go to Puerto Rico. I could go wherever I want to that has ultrasound, and I could get a contract and work there.
A shortage?
No.
Good question.
Is there a shortage where they have that high demand for travel?
It's a shortage, but they're putting them out right now. So there's so many schools around now. When I went to school, it was a huge shortage. But now they're putting out so many techs that it's not really a shortage, but it is.
So it's not saturated, but there isn't a high
demand. You can find a job anywhere.
Okay.
So you said you wouldn't go back and work for a hospital again. So traveling, with being a traveling nurse or traveling ultrasonographer.
Uh-huh.
It's not like with the hospital. Like, how do you get into it? Like traveling.
So it's with a staffing agency. So you apply with the staffing agency, and you have to take a skills checklist. You have to take a test to make sure you have your knowledge. You have to have your degree, your boards, your national boards, or your registries, and that's pretty much it. You have to have BLS, which is your basic life support, CPR, and that's it. And there's so many companies now that's out there, Arias, Maximum, Club Staffing. There's so many. You could do interstate, or you could go to the other 50 states, or you could go out of the country. And it's not, I'm talking about ultrasound, but nurses, surgical techs do it. They travel because the perks are so great. can you imagine you graduate and, you know, you have to work the criteria, well, no, not criteria, but the requirement is that you work a year somewhere first. And then you could go into traveling. And so that's why I wanted to get 2 years under my belt to make sure that I knew I could work independently and I knew what I was doing. So once I did that, I applied with like 3 different companies. They all accepted me, but I was able to look at which one was offering me the most for my bang for my buck. So I was able to get a 1-bedroom apartment, fully furnished. I drove my Mustang at the time, so they paid for my car note, and they gave me, I think it was like $30 a day for food.
Yeah, I remember. I came to your one stay in, and it was like, wow. It was nice, and she had a refrigerator full of food. She had to go to work. I was like, I'll chill while you just do your thing
while you was at work, huh?
It's your car, and they just pay for it.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's amazing. And on top of that, you still get your salary, so you'll get like $1,200 a week on top of all that. So you're not paying for anything. All your money is going straight into your pocket. And they offer medical coverage. So you're also getting your medical coverage.
So Kari had a question real quick, Tamika.
So which state have you traveled and which one did you like the most? Or it could be out of country too.
Okay, so
that's a good point too. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Wait, I didn't hear the last part of her question.
Or if you've traveled out of the country, either way, which one would you say was the one you liked the most?
Okay, well, I've only stayed in California. I don't like to fly.
Yeah, that's a problem. So
that's why I haven't been to Florida. So, you know, I don't like to fly, and I figured, but the plus side of that is that you don't have to fly. I just had my mother here, and I was like this with my mom, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer 14 years now. She passed away 2 years ago, but I was her medical advice nurse, if you want to say it. So if I had to have a schedule that fit her medical needs. So she traveled wherever I went. So as far as like babysitting, my kids was right there in the apartment with me, but my mom was there as well. So it was nothing. And this is pre-marriage. So like Alex, my oldest nephew, I took him on as my son. Like he traveled with me. We would go to Disneyland all the time. Like it was nothing for us to be together. It was the 3 of us. And so after she has passed and I don't have that weight of responsibility on me, it was a blessing at the time, which I didn't realize it, but I was open to do it because she needed my mom would go into the doctors and the doctor would say something, but it sounded like wah, 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 wah. So she needed someone to interpret her in layman terms. So she knew, like even in the hospital, like I was her medical advice. Like she signed for me to make all her medical decisions because she knew that I understood the doctor's language. So with that being said, no, I did not travel out the country and I have not traveled out the state.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you now?
I would, you know, it's funny you asked because I was actually, my husband, you see girls, when you get married, there's another counterpart you got to take into consideration. So, unfortunately, he is a stable body. He does not like to move so much. Put this way, we've been married 13 years. We probably moved 13 times. I don't mind moving, but he is, nope, I'm not moving no more. We're done. As soon as the kids graduate from high school, then I'll consider it. But so for me to say, hey, I have an opportunity in Florida and it is paying A, B, C, and D, and this is what the perks is, he's going to outweigh that. So I'm not a single person anymore where I would be like, okay, yeah, let's do it. I don't mind. Even my kids will come with me because they pay for your kids to go with you. They don't have a problem with that. If you have pets, they'll pay for that too. But My husband, on the other hand, he's like, I'm not gonna leave my full-time job and do that.
I don't blame him.
But Tamika, that's a really good point, because you've transitioned in your career from being single, where you could go, and I commend you so much, because you're right. All the opportunities that you could and I'm sure have been asked to do, you always kept the care of your mom and really your family, your parents, as your first priority. And we understand that 100%. Yes. So kudos to you for that. But I do pray that, there will be opportunities soon where you can branch out and just sort of have some experience. But
fingers crossed. I've even been tempted to do the, thank you for saying that. Personally, I'm actually browsing right now for opportunity in Hawaii. I just want to go. I mean, they'll pay for me a room. Why not? Like, I'll have an apartment. Like, I'll be able to. Why not?
Right.
That's a vacation.
Yeah.
Literally.
Listen,
take me with you.
Listen, you'll get there and send your husband a picture, and I guarantee you, he's gonna be like on the next plane.
That's right.
Yeah. But that would be really cool. Please, you got to keep us posted if you do, so we can promote that. Absolutely. But I want to ask before our time gets away from us, and all these questions are really good questions. I know that at the point where you are now, you've actually taken your craft and put it into the form of a YouTube channel.
Yeah, tell us.
So can you share a little bit about that?
I started my YouTube channel in hopes to share my life as a wife, a mother, and sharing my family life. But when I mentioned I do ultrasound, it just took off. And so many people are wanting to know more about the craft, the career. And so now my YouTube channel is based around sonography and what I do. So I take you behind the scenes and I show you what I'm scanning and what I'm doing at work. And I love it. I have almost 1,800 subscribers, and I love each and every one of them.
And you've got a mentor program that you've started.
Yeah, I just started a mentor program over the COVID-19 little quarantine, and I help students that want to get involved and want to enroll in the school, as well as I'm their cheerleader, and I help them study, I help them go over the questions they may have and everything. So, that's what I do with my mentor program. I help you, I hold your hand, I call schools for you, I make sure that you are getting the quality of care that you need going through.
You're like their own personal guidance counselor.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, Elise.
What a way to give back. That is really cool. I
love that, especially for like young kids. Like we after high school, like we kind of feel like, well, I don't know, I wouldn't know, but I know I have friends. Of course. I have friends who are older and out of high school, and they just kind of feel like they have no one to lean on or no one to help them. So like people like that, people who call schools, help them out, let them kind of give them some direction on what they may want to do.
Correct.
It helps a lot.
I bet that is gonna, because they're like a deer in headlights. They don't know what direction.
And high school barely prepares you for anything.
The real world.
Yeah, high school does not. It doesn't. So having mentors like that, it helps. It makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. I mean, because if you look back at high school for me, and I'm pretty sure Amber and Anita could attest to this, like, you didn't know what to do after high school. You're like, okay, so do I go to high school now? I mean, college now, or what do I do? Or how do I get there? What are the steps? So to have somebody that will help you in a career, say if you want to be a doctor, well, this is the route you're going to take, and let me hold your hand on your way there, so it's huge.
So Tamika, what is an average day for you? When does it start? What time does it start? What time does it end?
Great question.
So average day for me traveling, if I was on so I do travel, but I also have a part-time PRN where, like, if somebody call in sick, they could call me and I'll fill in, and that's local, about 30 minutes from my job, my home. But so for that day, it's typically start at 8 in the morning, for my job, and I'll leave here at 7, my house, and I'll finish there about 2:33, and then I'll come home. Now for traveling, it's a lot more in depth because I choose not to live in an apartment. So I live with my family. I come home every day. So I am on the road, hitting the road by no later than 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I drive to the Bay Area. And if you know Northern California, you know the Bay Area traffic is crazy. So I get there and my day still starts at 8 o'clock, but typically it would, well, I guess you could say it started at 4, but 8 o'clock I start my job, and then I'm off at 5, and then I travel 2 to 3 hours home every day. So I don't get home until about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and I cook dinner, and I make sure my kids' homework is all done, and I take a shower, and I go to bed.
To be your one-person production team for your wonderful website. That's
yeah. And then I try to find time on the weekends to do my YouTube thing, and I will. That's why I do a lot of my videos on the road as I'm scanning, because to sit down at home, I don't have time. I have kids in sports, and I have things like that. So to sit down and do a video is hard for me because I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do it at home like I would like to, but I don't know. Maybe I'll change that because it sounds like a lot. But that sounds insane. But you want to have time for yourself, So on my days off, I do, that's when maybe personal, but soak in a bathtub, like Epsom salt, like totally pamper myself. If I want to go to Target, if I want to go to whatever, go shopping. Like today I went to American Eagle and, did a little shopping and just to relax, because my days are hustle and bustle, and it's nonstop. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and then I added a dog to the situation, which is a lot. And I don't know if I should have did that. I keep threatening, you're going back. But, he has a piece of my heart now, so it's hard. But so I have a high schooler. He just graduated today from 8th grade. He's going into high school next year. I was balling. And then so next year, my younger son is going into 6th grade, and he is asking me to homeschool him. So I might take on that task. I'm not sure yet, but the good thing with that is, and the luxury with how last year happened, they were able to go with me to work. So if I wanted to go to work and we would stay in a hotel, and they could still log on to their, computers and be in school. So it kept us close knit. And the unfortunate thing is my husband has an essential job, so he had to stay here. But me and my kids, like we did stuff together. So it was nice. It was nice.
Really cool. Yeah. Wow, Tamika. Well, listen, this sounds, you're going to make me go have a career change.
I was thinking about sonography. I was asking questions for myself, okay? Stable or not.
Florida has an amazing school. One in Orlando and one in Tampa, I believe. But they have an amazing school for ultrasound. Ultrasound is huge back in Florida. Amber actually, I don't know if you want me to put that out there, but Amber actually started the career of ultrasound path. And the school that she was going to, unfortunately, did not make it. But man, it was a great career. And you could attest to that. Hey, it was a lot of information given to you all at once. Yeah. But she was doing straight A's. Like, she was getting it. So, she was scanning. She would take Pooh in there and scan him.
Grant, I remember I scanned little Grant. Yeah.
So I mean, it was a great. I mean, man, you even went to your externship up in Napa.
And actually, where is Sister White from?
That Napa.
Yeah, it's like
St. Helena.
St. Helena.
Oh, St. Helena.
Elmer's hospital that's up there, but it's St. Helena Hospital, the Adventist hospital.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful
like,
hospital.
I was so sad that her school didn't make it, because I was like, dang it, we could have been cousins and in the same career. Like she was doing it. She was doing it. So the career is there. It's attainable, and anybody could go into it. I preach that too. Like anybody, if this is the career path that you want to do, if you're compassionate, if you're sensitive to others' needs and want to help others, because you are intimate with that patient. Like you'll do a transvaginal exam. You're telling them, like, well, you're not verbally telling them, but you're seeing if the baby is viable. You're seeing if they have cancer. You're seeing, so you have to have a compassionate heart, and just, if you, like I said, if you want to get in this career, you have to have that type of characteristics about you. And it's huge. I love it.
Can you share with us your handles on social media so if people want to follow you?
So on Instagram, it's I've Got This ×2. And that is also for YouTube. I've Got This ×2. And ×2 is for my kids. And I've got this. I got my career, I got my family, and I got my kids. Like that's what I've Got This ×2 stems from. So, but thank you. That's my handles. That's where you can reach me.
We'll definitely put those in the chat. And just thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Absolutely.
We were thinking of how to kind of bring this whole show, this month of mothers and stuff to a culmination. And I thought, it would be great to highlight what you do, because as mothers, you're that first step, I remember how my grandmother remembered, she was like, an ultrasound? Because they didn't have that back then. They didn't know what their little babies were going to look like or what they were having. And so being in ultrasound, that's the first step to motherhood. After you find out that you're pregnant, they get to share that with you. And I've had some good times. I know Tamika knows, when we were going to have Garnett showed up in all his Laker gear, hoping that it was going to infuse, I guess. Little did he know God already had a plan. So, out came Grant, and then 2 years later, it was 2 girls. So ultrasound is a very important part of a person's life when they're on their journey it's life-changing when they're on their journey for motherhood, good and bad too. So, again, to Tamika's point, it takes a lot of compassion and everything. But I just couldn't, I could not go without having you on and sharing this wonderful.
I am very humbled. Believe me, ladies, you guys are doing an amazing job. And when you asked me, I was like, what? I even told my husband, like, they want to have me on. Like, who am I? Like, what? And so I really, really, really appreciate it a lot. I really do.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
We've been glad to have you today. We've really been enriched with a lot of good information. Really have. And so I Got You Girl is at that point again where we are going to wrap up and we're going to call it a day. But before we go, we usually have some sort of positive something. So I found a positive quote that I'll have Elise read, and it's basically to just kind of sum up how we feel about motherhood. To all of our viewers, thank you so much for joining. For all the moms, thank you so much for joining this past month. We've had a good time. We'll definitely be excited for next month where we highlight our dads and highlight the guys. So please make sure you guys come back and share. But Elise, we'll let you close this out.
So, quote of the day is, motherhood is a million little moments that God weaves together with grace, redemption, laughter, tears, and most of all, love.
Absolutely. Very nice. So, until then, everybody, we ask that you think big,
Pray big.
Do big.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Tamika.
Thank you, Tamika. We love you.
Bye.